The FCS College Football Experience Week 5 reaction show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN to get 50% off deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and NFL with Rhythm. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the FCS College Football Experience Week 5 reaction show. This is something that the fans demanded. All right, let's get some reactions. Let's talk about an awesome week of FCS football. As I like to think, it's the heartbeat of college football. We had some great games. To me, I think you had the best game of the day that I saw, and I watched a shit ton of football games on Saturday. So, and we got an FCS game on Sunday that happened. All right, many didn't know that, maybe, perhaps, but YouTube.com/the college experience, as I can't talk, my throat. But yeah, great week of FCS football. And hey, I mean, I think, coming into the year, I think we kind of all thought it was, hey, it's going to be South Dakota State, North Dakota State, maybe Montana State. But I think it's maybe a few more teams. It's probably that, but a few more teams have shown that they might be capable to get some playoff wins, perhaps. Once again, youtube.com/the college experience. You're probably wondering who the hell you're listening to. That's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Oh, we had some big time games. I mean, I just wish, in a way, that's why I don't fear like the Big Ten and SEC are going to, split away. Fuck you. If you're going to do that, try to ruin the sport that's been around forever, that dates back before the MLB. We got layers of defense. Our defense system. We got the group of 5. We got the FCS. We got D2, D3, NAIA. We got layers of a defense system. You're not just going to ruin the whole sport. Impossible. Let's go. Let's get to it. I'm going to use the graphics from the Pick'em show. But this game that starts things off, woo. If you did not get to see this game, this game right here, let me see what I can do here. Let me switch. Let me go. This game right here. Simply, to me, the game of the day. And just like that, the Brown Bears are 2-0 because they won 31-28. And I did bet Harvard -3.5. Harvard -3.5 in this game. If you did not catch this game, folks, this game was ridiculous. Harvard was up 14-0 after 1. I believe 21-10 at half. 28-17 in the fourth. Really 28-17 with like 3 minutes left. You're looking like we're cruising on in. But that would not be the way things would go down because Brown scores a touchdown, kind of a garbage touchdown with a couple minutes left in the game. They try the onside kick. I mean, probably. I'm trying to remember exactly. I want to say they scored a touchdown with like I don't know a minute left, maybe 45. Yeah, I think a minute 10 left in the game. Kind of prevent defense by Harvard. Okay, so now it makes it 28-24. They kick the. They're gonna need to kick the onside kick because they only have 1 or 2 timeouts. They kick the onside kick. Don't get it. Harvard gets the onside kick. And then, Harvard runs 3 plays and Brown uses their timeout. So it's down to like no time left in the game. But Harvard, because Brown had a timeout or 2, they're forced to kick the field goal as opposed to just running out the clock. They go to kick the field goal. It's a mess. The timing of the kicker, the snap. His snap goes over the holder's head, and the kicker goes to grab it. He misses it. He bobbles it, and Brown takes it back all the way to like the 15-yard line with limited time left. And then the next play they pass for a touchdown. It was the craziest game. It was shades of Tony Romo at the Lumen Field there. Unbelievable. Really a magical win for the Brown Bears as they go to 2-0. And I love the Ivy. I really do. I love the Ivy because I know that they were pussies during COVID. But just a game like that, like I said, Georgia Bama was fantastic. There was a lot of great games on Saturday, but this one to me, the most hilarious possible outcome. That was a magical game. There was a few, by the way, all across. Saturday was a great day for college football, an absolutely great day for watching games. If you could sit back and get a TV setup like we have here at the studio, it's just like, oh man, there's nothing better than this fucking sport. I hope you listen to me on the next one here because I lost money on that. I feel like we were on the right side. We were on the right side. They were up double digits the entire fucking game. The entire game. This one here, we cash. Well, depending on where you got this number, because I know some people got it at 28.5. Some people got it at 26, 26.5, 27, 27.5, 28. It cashed for us. So, bam. Syracuse wins by 28 against Holy Cross. I don't know what to make from that. It was just a nice bet, but not going to dig deep on that. The Dayton Flyers did destroy the Marist Red Foxes. Man, Dayton is pretty solid right now. They got a win already against St. Francis. Their lone loss was to Indiana State, which is looking like a bad loss, but not really when you consider they don't really have scholarships there. Drew Van Vliet lighting it up there at the quarterback spot for the Flyers as they get it done 47-14 against those Marist Red Foxes. This game, like I said, man, college football. This is why, like, you gotta. In this day and age, it's not that crazy to say get like an 8 TV setup. When you figure like you can get like a TV for like $150, like a 32-inch. You should be able to pull this off. But I think if you do this, you'll fall even more in love with college football because once we started having this here, you're just like, man, the sport's so great on all levels. Whether it was, so I'm watching the morning games at this point. I got the Harvard game going on at the same time as this Bucknell Lehigh, right? At the same time as Minnesota storming back against Michigan, right? At the same time as what was the other one that was going on that was kind of Western Kentucky, Boston College going on. So I'm mixing like FBS, Baylor's coming all the way back against BYU with a bunch of FCS games, and you're just sitting there like, man, there's nothing better than college football. You know what I mean? I got the Flow Sports shit going on the computer, couple D2 games on, so just spreading it all across the board, and you're just sitting there like, I wish everyone could have what we have here, because I mean, look, we all love college football, but if you get that sample size, it's very hard to come away with it thinking like this is not the greatest thing that's ever hit planet Earth. Just saying. This game was insane. And, Lehigh was up 14-0. And looking good. We were cruising. I bet this game too. It was a tough beat on a couple of these early ones. This game was at Goodman Stadium. That's a great stadium if you haven't seen this, and it's on real grass. It was funny. I was sharing a clip of this on social media, and shout out to Joseph, I know, who had Twitter had reached out saying, doesn't it feel great to watch that game with that real grass where you can see the dirt, by people being tackled. It's still there in the grass. And I was like, yes, it's exactly the way a football field should look. This game was insane. Bucknell Lehigh 38-35 in double overtime. Bucknell gets the dub. There was a kick return for a touchdown. I mean, Lehigh couldn't, they just kept fumbling away the ball. You really look at the stats here. It's pretty remarkable because Lehigh basically had exactly 500 yards of offense. 500 yards of offense. Bucknell had 270 yards of offense, and they won. Unbelievable game. Like I said, you win because of a couple fumbles. One being in overtime, where it looked like Lehigh was probably going to be in this position to maybe go down and score after Bucknell had made the field goal. And I really believe Lehigh was like a team that I thought, after watching them the first couple weeks this season, I thought this is a team that could make the FCS playoffs. But this is a crucial loss here. Dante Perry and Lehigh got to get the shit going again, because there's no excuses. Like, you should have won this game, but you only play once. This isn't like Hugh Freeze says, if we played 9 more times, we went on 9 times. Well, no, you only play once in a season, coach. I hate to tell you that, but well, sometimes twice. But Lehigh had no business losing this game. This was like this is them, essentially shit in the bed. And you're not going to get that game back. You look now at the and this was a conference game, so like you look at the standings in the Patriot, and you're saying, okay, well, Bucknell. I mean, they've only played 2 Patriot. I mean, they've only played 1 Patriot game right now, but this one might matter. And the Patriot League, by the way, I think it's like, even though Holy Cross isn't as good as they were, obviously they kind of suck this year. And maybe Fordham's not the same that they were when they had Tim DeMorat and everything. But I kind of like some of these other teams coming up. I think the race is going to be very, very interesting down the stretch here. But shout out to Bucknell. Look, there's many ways. What did my guy Jerry Burns say? There's many ways you can win a football game. All right, they got it done. Rest in peace to the great Jerry Burns. Ralph Rucker, the quarterback of the Bison, getting it done there. Unbelievable game. Like I said, if you're watching this is college football. I don't care what the Big Ten and SEC do. If you're panicking, yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I care because I don't want them to fuck it up. But even if they do fuck it up, we have layers of this. Games like this will always be awesome. They can't touch that. All right, with their greedy little fucking blood money hands, with their NBC TV execs and Fox TV execs. Wow, what a fucking game. All right, let's continue on. This game, once again, the Patriot League and the Ivy was giving us some games. This was another one, man. Georgetown had no lead the entire game. Well, I had this game. This was another one that was going on my TV at the same time. So Columbia got up to a 7-0 lead like right away, right? And then it was 14-0, and then 14-7 at the half, I believe. and Georgetown then got it to 14-13 at the end of the third. But Columbia gets it up to 17-13, and it's looking like, Georgetown's offense is kind of sputtered. Can they get it going? And they march down the field on a big drive. And what Danny Lauder throws a fire pass. Georgetown's wideouts, if you get a chance to watch them, Jimmy Kibble, not Jimmy Kimmel. All right, he's not part of the Illuminati here. Jimmy Kibble, I'm talking about. With the game-winning touchdown, Georgetown gets their first lead of the game with like a minute left in the game, as they take down the Columbia Lions. And remember, if you remember from last week, Columbia had scored a huge win to open up their season against the Lafayette Leopards, who were my preseason favorite to win the Patriot League. So Columbia coming in hot. Now I didn't bet this. I leaned like I didn't. I leaned laying the points because I was like, man, Columbia looked really good week one. Well, my Hoyas step up and get it done. Let's go. Big time win. Awesome game. Shout out to Kevin Marshall, FCS Nation Radio in the chat. Let me tell you, I say this on every episode, but you need to check out. You need to check out the FCS Nation Radio. Kevin's been holding it down for years. All right, for years. So just I respect that. You know what I mean? Check out FCS Nation Radio and FCS reaction show. This is heaven. Let's go. Yeah. What are we doing? I'm trying to do this every single either Sunday or Monday. I might have to. I have something I got to do in a couple of weeks where it's going to be hard for me to find the show, but we'll see. I'm going to try my best to get it to you folks. Columbia, Georgetown, what a game! Shout out to the Hoyas and don't look now, but my Hoyas 3-2 and hey, I think we're players in the Patriot now. Sure, we're at Lafayette. We have a bye week, and then we're at Lafayette. Lafayette still alive. Obviously, they haven't played a game yet in the Patriots. So same with the Hoyas, but I just think the way they've looked with some of these wins, they're better than I thought they would be, especially after losing a couple key guys in the portal this offseason. So, folks, look, before we get to the next game, I want to let you know that this is the FCS College Football Experience, part of the Sports Gale League Podcast Network. And SGPN has the most D-Gen pregame show in the world. Yes, Saturday, the College Football Experience YouTube is live starting at 11 a.m. East. And don't forget, for the NFL Propcast kicks off at 11 a.m. Sunday, followed by SGP at noon. Those are Eastern times. Last second bets, D-Gen parlays, your call, and much, much more. Check it all out, folks. And remember, as always, to let it ride. I also want to let you guys know that we are. I might be getting ahead of myself here, but I believe we're going to have something set up in the next 48 hours or so for us to help out the good people in North Carolina and those in the Appalachian areas after that terrible hurricane. So stay tuned on that. But we're going to have an announcement, I think, and we're going to try our best over here at SGPN to help out all the people affected by that terrible storm. But stay put because check out or stay up to date because we're going to try to do something special. So check it out. Moving along. This game, the games this Saturday delivered. Tell me, did anybody see this game? Please tell me you saw this game. All right. Frostburg State. Love Frostburg State. I've been to a game at Frostburg State. They're taking on Mercyhurst, who's brand new to the FCS. And they open the game with an onside kick, right? They open the game with an onside kick. Go down and score. The next kick, they bring in their real kicker, not because they had used two different kickers. They bring in a different kicker. It's supposed to be the long distance kicker. and they kick it onside again and get it. It was a fascinating start to the game against Mercyhurst. And shout out to Frostburg State. See, when I went to a game at Frostburg State, from my recollection, they were D3. They're D2 now. And they just had their first FCS win, I think, that ever, at least that I can recall, 25-24, as they got up 14-0 in the first quarter with 2 consecutive onside kicks. And they end up, pulling this thing out 25-24. Unbelievable game. And the college football, like, go back and watch this. If you have a Flow account, this is there for you. You know, they're on demand. You can watch it whenever. This game, fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Shout out to Frostburg. I was thinking about this. They need to be, I want them to be good. So if you've ever, like, I grew up in the DC area, you go up to, like, there was a place that's kind of blown up now, but back in the day we would go up a lot. I would still go now. Deep Creek Lake, Maryland. And on the way to Deep Creek Lake, Maryland is Frostburg State. In Maryland, it's up in the mountains. It kind of reminds me, if Frostburg is able to, like, continue to build on this, it kind of reminds me of the way, like, I would look at Appalachian State 30 years ago, or maybe Western Carolina. It's like just a mountain town that there's something cool about these college football programs up in the mountains. Check it out. Shout out to Frostburg State. What a win! What a ballsy coaching decision. I love it. Next up, man, I don't know what is going on with Fordham. Is it just the portal? Like, did the portal hit Joe Conlon that bad? Because they lost 63-21. I did lock this, by the way. Shout out to those Monmouth Hawks getting it done. You don't just walk into West Long Branch, New Jersey. I didn't think Fordham would be this bad. I actually thought, like, I've liked the development within the program, but holy shit. That's just a royal ass whooping. Shout out to Monmouth off the FBS win. There was maybe some people were thinking they were out partying down there at Pitbull Stadium, drinking his vodka, listening to that music, trying to fuck anyone in the streets, right? No, you get back to New Jersey. All the scattered asses say, "Are you the starting quarterback that beat an FBS team?" Yeah, I am. You want a bong of beer? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's working in West Long Branch, New Jersey. Because they just destroyed Fordham 63-21, folks. Fordham is 0-5. 0-5. Unbelievable. I didn't see that one. I mean, I thought they might struggle. They weren't the same as they were with Demorat. They lost their OC to Old Dominion the year prior. But I didn't think they'd be this bad. Another stunner to me is Houston Christian taking down. I mean, who really cares, right? Like, Indiana State's been. I don't understand why Indiana State's so bad. Can someone break this down to me? You got that Larry Bird blood money. I really don't get it though. Like, you're surrounded by very talented states. Right? I don't understand why they're not better. Their basketball program's good. It's been, it was good last season, but I'm just saying, like, I don't understand. Why can't you be better? They've been kind of shitty for a while, I feel like. And losing to Houston Christian, that's not good. It's not good for the resume. Houston Christian comes in, wins outright 27-24. Shout out to Houston Christian and Jason Bash. What's it? Batchel, I believe. That's a big win. And Houston Christian was ass a couple years ago. So hey, anytime you can go beat a Valley team on the road, you take it. You take it all day. We also had a blowout win here as these D3 Dragons The Virginia Lynchburg Dragons, the corniest fucking logo, and they got to call me 1-800-PICK Dundee. Virginia Lynchburg. They headed up to Indianapolis. I've been to the stadium to what is it, Bud and Jackie Selleck Stadium or Field or whatever. Take on these Butler Bulldogs. Let me tell you about these Butler Bulldogs. They're for real, 63-0. Butler. I know. Look, I know it's Pioneer football, but I like Pioneer football. 4-0. That's what the Butler Bulldogs are doing right now, and I'm impressed. I mean, I know I shouldn't be too impressed for that outing, but considering the whole year, they've looked good almost every time I've seen them. So, shout out to the Butler Bulldogs. We don't need to talk about that one too much. Fucking Dartmouth and Merrimack. This was another game that was on at the studio that came down to Merrimack was actually in the lead for a lot of this game. In the second half, that is. So down the stretch, though, fucking Dartmouth made 2 field goals, including one, I think, with like 5 seconds left, give or take, to take down the Merrimack Warriors. This was a fun one there. Shout out to the Ivy scoring a win there against Merrimack, who's now independent in the FCS, but fucking Dartmouth getting it done, and yeah, and shout out to Never Graduate. If you don't like Pioneer football, you can get the fuck out. That is true. That is true. I will co-sign that. Yeah. Shout out to Dartmouth though, as Dartmouth moves to 2-0. Next up, Colgate, Penn. This is another one. This is one that I will say this was at first Colgate kind of made it interesting in the fourth, but the Quakers rolled. Got it done, but did not cover by the hook there, which sucked. But yeah, nice job by the Quakers to get it done. Folks, I want to tell you the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports: NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, CFL, WNBA, NASCAR, and more. I'm forgetting some. Their lobby is jam-packed with profit boost. You can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries as well. So sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. All right, we're back. We're breaking down just some fire FCS action from this past week. Oh, hey, I hit this one. Morehead State, 17-5. Yeah. If you didn't catch this game, Valpo had a safety. Early on in the game. Yeah, this is another one where you sit there and say, the offense. This was like this is like a Big Ten West game. The best way to explain it to you. Valpo had a solid 126 yards of offense. Now the only difference is Morehead State. They lit it up in this game. Let me tell you, they had 216 yards of offense. Oh yeah, 17-5 as Morehead State gets it done, and they move to 3-2. This game was a tough. Depending on I like a good defensive struggle. So shout out to the Eagles of Morehead State taking down the Crusaders of Valpo. Yeah, great score there, 17-5. This next game was fantastic. If you did not catch this game, this was a very good game. And damn if San Diego just keeps getting out to these early leads. You saw it the week before at North Dakota. Like first half, you're just sitting there. Whoa, it's Torero team, not bad. Remember they won. They beat Cal Poly early in the year. How the hell does that happen? That made me buy into San Diego being somewhat decent here. But if you took Drake, like I did, you got very fortunate because they made a last second field goal. This game was kind of drunk. If the best way to explain it is because early on, so at halftime it was 13-9, I think it was, and was kind of back and forth. San Diego had the lead at the end of one, and then third quarter was kind of nothing. I think if anything, Drake took their lead to like 20-9, and it was looking like, oh, okay, my bet's gonna breathe easy. No, not the case. San Diego scored 19 in the fourth, and then Drake obviously needed a last second field goal from way out there. I forget what the yardage was on it, but it was a fun watch. If you didn't get a chance, that's available. All this shit is available on ESPN Plus too. That's what I do. Look, now that I completely signed off on the NFL, their bullshit kickoff, and they're taking away Soldier Field and turning it into a dome and all this other shit they're doing that just makes me just want to vomit. The hip drop bullshit. Any games that I missed, I actually caught this one live, but some of the other ones that I missed, I watched them all yesterday. That's what I do. It's called FCS Sundays, right? You just sit back and watch on FCS Sundays. So shout out to the Drake Bulldogs there. Remember they had that big win earlier in the year. It was like a 36-point dog on the Inferno rug there at Eastern Washington. Shout out to my guy Timothy Green in the chat. Appreciate you, Timothy. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Come on over to the chat. Let us know your thoughts. All that good stuff. We also have. How about this was a shocker in the Ivy there. Jameson Wang, who I got to admit I don't know why I thought he graduated, but he's still doing it. All right. And it's at an Ivy League school, but I still feel like we could play this. We can still play this drop, even though.
You know, a lot of people go to college for 7 years.
Look, Cornell 47, Yale 23. What? The big red freshman's getting it done. Okay. Jameson Wang threw for 278. I know Yale's not as good, but Yale was favored by 13.5 points. Shout out to Cornell responding after they look like shit week one against Colgate. So bouncing back, taking care of those Yale Bulldogs in Ithaca there. Big time win there. This game, shout out to Kevin from FCS Nation Radio and folks. Pat Forty wrote a great article on what. I should have had the link prepared for this, but. If you didn't catch this game, this was they pushed back the time, I believe some. East Tennessee State was like slept in a bus. They were stranded in a way. Like the people gave them free food and stuff. I think from a supermarket, but they had all they had started their trip to Charleston, and kind of got stuck with that storm. So. Go check out Pat Forty's article. I'm not doing it any justice by me talking right now, but it talks about what they endured to get to Charleston, South Carolina. It was definitely, and then to play a football game after all that. Now I did bet them because I just thought Trey Lamb's got this team playing at a really good level, and I love the Citadel. The Citadel's like I always root for them, but I just thought it was a bad spot for them. So ETSU wins 34-17. I think ETSU, and I'd love to know your thoughts, Kevin. I know you're a Citadel fan, but I think ETSU is a team that could be very sneaky if they made the playoffs. I think they're getting better each week. Brought in a bunch of those transfers with them from Gardner Webb. They played North Dakota State really tough. Probably should have beat them, I thought. But watch out for these Buccaneers here as they get it done. We cash this one against the Citadel. Let's go. Moving along, North Alabama and West Georgia. I really used to play a lot in the D2 ranks there. This one, North Alabama did hit for me. I mean, I didn't bet it, but I'm saying like I picked it correctly. North Alabama lay at 1.5. West Georgia, they went 25-16. Get it done. Shout out to the Lions. And this is one I watched on Sunday. I didn't catch any of this on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, look, West Georgia's brand new to the FCS. I think down the road, they could be an FCS power. But right now, and same with North Alabama, I think these are ones, if you're looking around, because I know one of the complaints is, well, the FCS is so dominated by, the Midwest, the Dakotas and Montanas, and, with conference realignment, maybe that changes some. I saw some reports from the Wyoming athletic director today, but who the fuck knows? We have no idea. I mean, personally, I thought those two teams should have left a long time ago. I think they're playing at an FBS level. So I just thought, what are we doing here? But when I look at like teams, that one of the common complaints is that the South, the other teams go to the FBS, whether it was Georgia Southern, whether it was App State, Coastal. I'm forgetting some of the others, but that's valid. But when I see two here though that could emerge, you think 5-10 years down the road, I think North Alabama, they're building a stadium on campus. West Georgia, those are two schools that I think could be powers in the FCS moving forward. So watch out for them. What do we got next? We jump to Robert Morris at Eastern Kentucky. This is an easy play. EKU minus the 19.5 cashes. They won 31-7 against Bernard Clark's Robert Morris Colonials. Yeah. Yeah, I mean EKU's. We knew that they were probably better than their record. They just played a bunch of FBS opponents. They're getting it on track there in Richmond, Kentucky. Then I cashed this one though. This next one, fire play here. South Dakota minus 10.5, no problem. And I love the Salukis. Just a bad spot, man. This was 35-7 at halftime. Aiden Bowman. I think that's another development that's cool about this season. I know we think South Dakota State, North Dakota State, they've been so dominant over such a long period of time. But watch out what's happening in Vermilion and in Grand Forks. They've been super impressive. South Dakota, and I mean, obviously they had the game canceled because of the whooping cough, because Portland State had a whooping cough, but I really think they passed the eye test. North Dakota and South Dakota, when I've watched them, I'm like, okay, it seems like they're inching closer and closer to that top tier. So it's going to be fascinating to watch down the stretch there in the Valley. But yeah, Aiden Bowman looked good. I mean, their run game, is it Travis Theus? I think it is. No relation to Reggie. But him and then Pierre, the other running back, those guys were getting after it, just getting anything they wanted there. So shout out to the Coyotes, the Yotes, getting it done against the Salukis. Great mascot game too. But we cashed on this one. Then you had the Campbell Camels, Delaware State. I did take Delaware State in the points, and damn it, they almost won the game. They lost 44-41. This is, dude. Yeah, you got to start. You got to check out some of these games. This is a fun game. It's a fun watch. Delaware State had the lead at halftime too. It looked like this could be a huge win for that Hornet program. Campbell's been all over the place this year. For me, like, you want to talk about a team you need a shot of whiskey to project. Campbell 1 week looks good. Even like one drive they'll put it together for like one or two drives and you're like, damn, they look good. Then you won't see that for like a whole quarter or two. So they are a roller coaster, I would say. Campbell did get to win 44-41. Shout out to this day. I mean, and I should note that in that particular matchup, Campbell's Chad Masco threw for like 330. So good job there for the Campbell Camels surviving a potential upset. That would have been a bad look. That would have been a bad look for the CAA. Speaking of the CAA, the next game was a very good contest, and I think we can stick a fork in Elon. And I was dumb enough to ride with Elon here. I didn't bet this, but I rode with Elon. Richmond goes in to what is it, Rhodes Stadium, I think it is, and beats down Elon. Richmond, slow start to the season, but they're hot right now. They're playing really good ball. Spiders go in there, take care of business, win by 10, and kind of just whoop their ass the whole game. It was like 20-0. I don't know what 20-7 at halftime, I think. just a strong performance yet again by the Spiders. After watching the Spiders the first 2 weeks, I was kind of out on them. Cause that's the thing. It's like, okay, we know Delaware in the CAA can't make the FCS playoff. So it's like, who do we think? This is a conference, and I know many that would agree that kind of have lost their edge, with Delaware leaving, James Madison leaving, a couple of years ago. They've teetered off to what they used to be. That's why Richmond's leaving for the Patriot League. It was a very, very strong conference for a long time. So they're figuring some things out here, but I can't help but think, like, based on the weeks that we've seen thus far, I guess to me, Villanova and William and Mary would be like if I had to set odds at who would win the conference, it'd be one of those two. But watch out, Richmond's coming on. There's a couple other teams coming on, and there's a couple teams like I thought Elon would be a contender in this conference. Not the case. They don't look the part thus far. Yeah, it should be a fun stretch. I also thought Towson. I'm not going to say Towson's not in that mix yet, but I thought they would be a little bit sharper. And also Albany, I know they got really hit from the portal and graduation and a tragedy, but I kind of thought Albany would look a little bit better too. So Monmouth is one to talk about too, I guess. Monmouth is in that mix too, and I guess you can never count out New Hampshire. Gonna be fun to watch that race though. It's like 1,000 teams in that conference now though. It's like the Big Ten of the FCS. Shout out to the Spiders though, getting it done. Next up, Southern Utah, Austin P. This one I got right. I bet this one. Thunderbirds get it done. I laid the 1.5. They won 28-17, I think it was. Shout out to the Thunderbirds for beating them Governors in good old Clarksville, Tennessee. Yeah, I feel like this one once again was kind of this was like a game where Southern Utah really turned it on late. It was like, I think they're knotted up at the half, if memory serves me correct. Kind of back and forth in the third, and then in the fourth quarter, Thunderbirds took it to them. They needed that because they had a disappointing showing up in Pocatello against Idaho State. They had that FBS win against UTEP, but they kind of have been shitting the bed. Other than that, they can get back on track here with that win, and that's exactly what they did. Shout out to the Thunderbirds who moved to 2-3. Austin Peay's just been a train wreck this year. Folks, I want to tell you the FCS college football experience is brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. You can, and if you want to you can phone it in too and say, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or you could press build a model for me, and it'll build your own model, and Rhythm will then adjust to what you like, and give you predictions for every game and player prop. They have a slew of stats, research, trend analysis to give you even more betting insight. So hop on over there, claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by BetUS. Yes, bet with a business. That is BetUS. They've been around for more than 30 years. And you can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. US players are always welcome. Use our link to sign up and get 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Holy shit. Yeah, 3 deposits. They're gonna give you that for. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. Promo code SGPN so they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. All right. Appreciate you. Never graduate in the chat. YouTube.com/the college experience. North Dakota. Holy shit. That's what I mean. They put up 72. This is a conference game now, folks. Remember that. Murray State going out in the portal, bringing in some talent, trying to get on that Missouri Valley level. You still got a ways to go because you went into Grand Forks and you gave up 72-35, the final there. Shout out to North Dakota and getting it done. And they ran for over 300. And, I don't know, 300. They had like 330 yards of rushing yards, if memory serves me correct. Dominating performance by North Dakota. That's why I'm so fascinated by the Dakotas. You know, even though too many of them play in filthy domes, like they seem to be like all hitting right now. Like I know that North Dakota State and South Dakota have been so dominant, but it makes it very interesting for the coming weeks with the race in the conference. Shout out to this one. I got this one wrong, very wrong. I bet on Northern Colorado. Yeah, Ed Lamb's still it's a work in progress. I don't understand how you can look this bad at home. I don't understand. Like I watched that game a couple weeks ago against Abilene Christian where they lost 24-22. And I said, you know what? Lamb is getting them there. They didn't get that win, but they're improving and they're getting there. And meanwhile, I watched Cal Poly with Paul Wolf as the head coach there. Remember they lost Hjord, their star quarterback to Utah. I watched them early in the year against San Diego, and I'm like, you bums, right? And they didn't even have an FCS win on the season, and they just walk into Greeley and take a doo-doo on the Northern Colorado Bears here, 28-7, 8 shifts, 14-0 like first 5 minutes of the game. I was drinking. Shout out to the Mustangs at Cal Poly for getting that thing done. This game I was way off on too. Now the only good news here is I didn't wager on this one, but North Dakota State, 42-10. Cam Miller and the Bison. I'm gonna be honest. I think they look better than South Dakota State this year. Could the pendulum be swinging back to Fargo? Perhaps. Nice win there on the road against them Redbirds. I can't believe I didn't hit on this. I bet Missouri State -7.5. It's fucking. I'm still a little mad about this one because they won by 7. Only won by 7. I think it was, what was the final score here? 28-21, something like that. Yeah. I mean, this was a brutal beat. This was a very brutal beat. I'm very mad at this. And I don't like, this is my old guy Mike's no, it's 38-31, not 28-21. Shout out to Gulf Coast Guru. He's a Youngstown State grad. I mean, this was 24. I don't know. I feel like I was on the right side. But didn't get it done. Shout out to Missouri State for getting that dub, though, as they moved to 3-2, 4-2, something like that. 3-2, I think it is. But did not cover there. Lost by the hook. This game, I was very impressed with Princeton here. Howard, Princeton did battle. Princeton kind of put it to him, and the Ivy just they look good in these non-con games. I thought like the way Howard played Rutgers, saw them in the Celebration Bowl last year too. I thought Howard would give them a game. Not really. It's like 20-0 at halftime, 23-0 at halftime, something like that. Very impressive work by Princeton there. Another thing is Princeton, they lost they had Stenstrom as their QB last year. This year it's been Blaine McAllister, and let me tell you, Blaine McAllister. I mean, it's not like he's lighting it up, but he did enough to win the game. They ran the ball well. McAllister's kind of a dual threat. If anything, like he struggles more to throw the ball, at least in this game, because he only threw for about 80 yards. But he does have some feet. He was able to fly around some with his legs. But I mean, I would say one of the bigger stories there was the fact that just Howard couldn't get out of their own way. Edgerrin James' son is Eden James, the star running back for Howard, or one of the bell cows there for them. I don't understand how they didn't, like, they looked a lot better than the performance they gave on Saturday. I don't know how they weren't ready for this one. We got Central and State. This game was in filthy Indianapolis. I did watch this one live. Central took care of business. I thought Norfolk State would get the cover. Thought after the rivalry game, Trey Oliver just does a great job with North Carolina Central. He really does. I mean, they lose Davis Richard, no problem. Big time win there, 37-10. Shout out to Central. Yeah, very impressive. I would give them a game ball because I thought this was a great letdown spot. Mercer, Wofford. Mercer stuck it to Wofford. This is when we started to buy into Sean Watson and Wofford. Mercer. That's another one in the South that we should start talking about. They are 5-0 now, 5-0, and looking like the team to beat in the SoCon. Wofford. What the hell happened? They only rushed for 16 yards against Mercer. 16 yards, folks. Yeah, you're not going to win many games rushing for 16 yards. Moving along. Lindenwood. Hey, let's talk about this. Big time win. This is a program that just recently came to the FCS ranks. I know they're just 2-3, but man, they looked the part, man. Past 2 weeks, and look, if you look at their losses, they played the Kansas Jayhawks in the FBS. Okay. Then they played Central Arkansas, who I think is like a legit top 10 team. Okay. Then they lose to Missouri State. Missouri State's got the leg up. They're going to the FBS next year. There's no shame in those 3 losses. Then they beat the Tommies 64-0 St. Thomas. And then they go and get a win against Eastern Illinois. Very impressive stuff. The penitentiary there getting it done. And as a dog on the money line, let's go. Alabama State and Bethune-Cookman. Bethune actually ended up coveting. They were getting 7.5. Bama State won the game 26-21. But yeah, I would have lost money if I bet that one. Moving along. Morgan State, Stony Brook. Maybe we needed to have a conversation about Stony Brook because they beat Campbell. Was that the week before or 2 weeks ago? And then they take down Morgan State 22-3 here. They're 4-1. All right. I mean, they were just 1.5 point favorite, something like that. And to dominate them in the way that they did, they ran for almost 300 yards on the ground. These Seawolves are looking pretty darn impressive thus far this season. So you know what that means.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
This game, one of the better games, better outcomes here. Albany loses to Maine outright, and the Maine Black Bears. I think you saw it on ESPN. Randy Moss's son threw a touchdown or a 2-point conversion. Was it? No, it was a touchdown, I think. Right. And Maine looking good. I mean, when you consider their 2 losses are to Montana State and Monmouth, who both have FBS wins, you're sitting there saying, hey, these Black Bears, who I want this program, I want Maine to be a dominant program. All right. Like I remember when they were beating Mississippi State in Starkville like 15 years ago. Got to get back to it. I love Albany too. Great logo. This is 2 programs that I want to continue to rise up. Big win for Maine though, because they looked like shit last year and kind of fell off a little bit. Nice win for the Black Bears as they move to 3-2. Delaware took care of business. 49-0 against fucking Sacred Heart. They took down Sacred Heart 49-0. Hopefully you cashed on this. Delaware looks really good, but remember they got to fix that rule though. If you want to go to the FBS, you should still be able to play. I mean, what are we doing here? Aren't we supposed to be like? This is like the same situation when they jump to the FBS. They're not eligible to go to the conference championship game for 3 years. Why? Why do we make these kids suffer? Delaware should be playing. Don't you want the best product possible? Delaware's leaving one way or another. Missouri State's leaving one way or another. Why would you not put them in the playoffs if they're good enough? It's going to help and strengthen the game. Because it's going to take away from one of your brands. They could beat one of your brands. You know what to do it? Come on. Shout out to those hens for getting it done, though. With this one, we had a big time. This is and by the way, I just read today that Sacramento State got like $30 million, $25 million. I can't remember the article right now. In 24 hours, they raised $30 million or $25 million. This was alleged jump to the FBS or the Sac-12, they're calling it. The push to get to the Pac-12 or the Mountain West. Now, this game though.
Well, I don't get the brain man.
This is one where you're supposed to win this game though. There's a buzz around Sacramento, and you head to that filthy walk-up Sky Dome. Which shout out to CFB Campus Tour who told me, "Hey, Colby, they're thinking about doing an outdoor stadium." This, much like I said with Frostburg State, if you've been to Flagstaff, Arizona, it's one of my favorite cities in the country. Flagstaff, Arizona is awesome, but you should never be playing in a dome. If you add outdoor stadium to Flagstaff, Arizona, it's like a top 5 destination for an FCS college football game. You got to do it. Huge win for NAU though. Huge win for NAU, taking down Sac State, and Sac State had really looked good. The past couple weeks, ever since they made that quarterback change. And shout out one of the sneaky hires I think this past offseason was bringing in Brian Wright from what was it, Pittsburgh State, I think it was. At Pittsburgh State's got all these Jerry Kill guys. Bringing him in. He's got this NAU team. Remember they gave Arizona a game. You saw Arizona just won at Utah in the FBS. So shout out to the Jacks for winning outright. Let's get that outdoor stadium built. Tear down that filthy Sky Dome. Disagree with you, LFG. And it's even horrible for basketball too. Go to a basketball game, it's like fucking a gigantic arena. It's like 6 people there. They got to destroy it. I'm completely on the other side of this LFG. Walk-up Sky Dome sucks. It here's why it sucks, dude. A, I mean, football sucks in a dome, but B, it takes away their advantage. Their advantage is they're at this crazy elevation. They are in a cold part of Arizona, right? And in the future, I know right now you could say, well, they play in the Big Sky. Well, who knows what the fucking future football changes. That's why all these idiots sit there and say, "Oh, no, never change." No, really, because I can recall TCU in the Conference USA. You know what I mean, or whatever. I can remember, what was it? I'm drawing a blank on it. The WAC. But NAU. It will probably be playing teams close. College football is a regional sport. I know they're trying to change it, but I'm saying, like, if you're taking on some of these other schools, if you're bringing in some Texas teams, all right, if you're bringing in like that should be your advantage. California teams, if UC Davis has to go up into the mountains of Arizona and play in some cold weather, they don't get that cold weather in Davis, you know? So use your advantage. Yeah, there we go. It's going to be it's not too cold in late November. I will argue this all day. I host the CFL gambling podcast. The CFL plays all the way until late November, and they're in fucking Canada. All right. The Buffalo Bills have been playing in Buffalo, New York, which is way colder than Flagstaff, Arizona. Right. For how long? The Green Bay Packers. I refuse to buy into this. All right. I refuse. The Montana Grizzlies, Montana State Bobcats. Just people tell me this nonsense. I love you, LFG, but just I disagree. Shout out to David Matola. Say Flagstaff over Tempe all day. Let's continue on this journey. I'm getting sidetracked. You know, I'm talking too much here. We're at an hour. Northwestern State, SEMO. I was shocked at this. What the fuck was this? 19-0? Really? What? What? South Alabama dropped 87 on Northwestern State with a running clock. What? Nice cover for Northwestern State. I did take Northwestern State in the points. I did. Wow. Tennessee Tech, Gardner Webb. This is one where Tennessee Tech. Maybe I'm disrespecting GBO Farms' alma mater here, because I did think Gardner was probably going to win this game, but I just was noting pre-episode that they're 2-0 in conference, and could these Golden Eagles be building something special? I think they could. So shout out to them getting this dub. I know, Gardner Webb obviously replacing a coach and a different roster, but going on the road to Boiling Springs and getting that dub, very, very impressive for these Golden Eagles. Moving along, Wagner, FAU. Guess what happened? This didn't work out for Wagner. All right, the vacuum company lost 41-10 to FAU. They didn't cover either, so there's that. Moving along, Montana State, Idaho State. This is one that I had my eyes on because I wanted to see if Idaho State was capable of hanging tight with them or perhaps knocking them off. Well, that did not happen. And Montana State, I'm trying to get the stats right now on this. See if I can find this right now. I know that they were off early running heavy against Idaho State. Idaho State could not match them on the line of scrimmage. Let me see what their final stats were in this one, as it was 37-17 the final score. But I'm curious. It was kind of neck and neck for a little bit there, but let's see the team stats here. Yeah, they rushed for 268 yards. When you do that, and they were up 17-7 at halftime, but that's why I don't know that like I like Cody Hawkins and Dan Hawkins, and they're going run and shoot, and I believe there's a time and a place to run and shoot, but I just don't know against these Big Sky teams if it makes the most sense. But Idaho State's been so bad, I guess you can't knock it. Shout out to Montana State, who stays undefeated. Big time win there. I mean, I guess road win. Anytime you win on the road in conference, it's good. Tennessee State gets it done against Charleston Southern. Southern did get the cover though, but shout out Eddie George is now 3-2. Let's go. All right, nice win there for you in Nashville. The fucking Long Island Sharks. Well, guess what they did? They covered for me again. My sister Teresa was there with the casserole, and the fucking Sharks are the greatest team in college football. They're 0-5, but they covered all the FCS games they played. Every single one they cover. It's a guarantee to put cash in your wallet. Call 1-800-PICK-DUNDEE and take the fucking Sharks, because you're getting money in your wallet. My head is like a shark's fin, to quote the great LL Cool J. All right. One of the best stories in Hollywood history is I think he lived in the Valley here in LA. And I think he does. I've met LL. He was nice to me. Nice guy. But one of my favorite stories is someone decided to break into his house and rob him. Big mistake. Big mistake. LL Cool J is from the streets of New York City in the 80s. And if you didn't know, New York City in the 80s was fucking like one of the grimier places in America. Well, they got their ass whooped. There's a look. I need to find that photo of the guy's mugshot who got arrested because he got his ass whooped by LL Cool J. Bad idea. Bad idea. Why did you not choose Danny DeVito or Martin Short or something? You know what I mean? You got to choose what celebrities' houses you're going to break into. I just feel like there's a lot of better candidates than LL Cool J. He'd be pretty far down my list. I think I'd fight Schwarzenegger and LL Cool J would be probably like bottom 10 celebs that I would try to fight. Actors. We're not saying rappers, even though he's a rapper, but we're saying actors. I think he's bottom 10, maybe even bottom 5. You know what I mean? I'd take on fucking Hightower from Police Academy before I'd take on LL Cool J. Anyway, what the hell am I talking about again? The Sharks are a covering machine though, and shout out to Villanova. They got the win, but I'm telling you, Long Island's the best winless team in the country. They got to start scheduling lighter. I really think they're not bad. Like I know they played TCU. I'm trying to look at their schedule right now. Albany, they should have beat Albany. They're better than Albany. That's a bad loss because Albany's not that good this year. But they lose to TCU. I still think they might have covered TCU. I can't remember. Actually, they should have beat Lehigh. Maybe they just because I feel like they're on the same talent level as Lehigh, and that was at home. But yeah, let's go. Long Island just covers. What do they got next? Let's be prepared to put a lot of money on this Long Island Duquesne game going on this Saturday. When we do the pick show on Friday, when this line comes out, you better. But Duquesne is actually not that bad either. Duquesne beat Youngstown. Should be a fun matchup this weekend. What the hell else am I talking about here? South Carolina. How bad is A&T? I took South Carolina State here. Cash this thing. 45-25. A&T is fucking horrible. I don't know what's going on there in Greensboro. This game. Central Arkansas, Lamar. Central Arkansas should be 5-0. Remember their FBS win. The Sun Belt issued an apology saying the wrong call. They should have won the game. I hope the committee will take that into play there when the playoff is announced. Central Arkansas is really good. Their running backs are really good. But get this, they didn't cover the hook. If you took Lamar like I did, the hook brought you home. But I do want to highlight Will McElwain. Will McElwain was 15 of 22 for 158 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception at the quarterback spot. Where did he transfer from? Was he at Northern Iowa before? I believe Northern Iowa before. But that's not the reason why I bring him up. I bring him up because he had a 64-yard punt. Yes, the old quarterback pooch punt, a 64-yard punt. Game ball. Will McElwain. Let's go. And keep an eye on Shun Derek Powell if you haven't had a chance to. He's a stud. He ran for $178, 7.1 yards a carry. Team whooping cough. Portland State headed to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and they stayed true to their name because they got a case of getting your ass whooped. So from whooping cough to getting your ass whooped, it's been happening. Chattanooga 45, Portland State 30. Am I going out of sequence here? That was a nice cover. I'll lock this one up. Chattanooga hit. Let's go. The one I skipped over was Tarleton, Southeast Louisiana. This was a game, by the way, folks. Tarleton hit. I rode with the Texans, but this was a game. If you didn't get, I watched this one on Sunday. Shout out to the Texans for getting it done. The field goal there late. Yeah, let's jump over. How about this one? The Leathernecks got their first win of the season against the rivals. In a series that goes back late. They won, or goes back to 1929. They won 49-32. They were dancing in the locker room like they're fucking Lionel Richie. You know what I mean? Up on the ceiling, having a good old time. Sometimes it's all you need is just a win, because they look like they got destroyed all year. Get a win, dance your ass off through the night. It's supposed to be fun. Football is supposed to be fun. This game was played on Sunday, and Davidson won, and they didn't televise it, damn it. But my guy CFB Campus Tour was there. Davidson did win 48-37 in their rivalry game here. Yeah, nice win for the Wildcats. We're 3-1, brand new stadium too. Let's go Wildcats. All right. Few other ones here. Alcorn, Mississippi Valley State. Huh. You might remember this one. I locked this one up and it hit. Because Alcorn State is 21 points better than Mississippi Valley State. Mississippi Valley State's terrible, even though their logo is fire. They need some more of that Jerry Rice. You know, you got to think about this. And I'm sorry for just rambling, but the NFL players weren't paid that much in the 80s and 90s compared to today's. Like today's money is crazy, right? It's too much in my opinion, but it is what it is, right? But now, like you see, like Jordan Love just signed that gigantic contract. I'm sure at some point, now he hasn't done this yet, he'll probably write a big check to Utah State and write that thing off. And because that's another way of, you know, protecting your money and stuff. It's like ECU got $8 million from Vince McMahon back in the day. You know what I mean? Like it's just gonna happen at some point if I had to bet. Or like Josh Allen at Wyoming. You've seen it. Max Crosby did it with Eastern Michigan. Gave them like $1 million or $2 million or something this past year. You got to sit there and say, I know they've changed it to Jerry Rice Field or Stadium or something. And I'm sure he's donated some money, but you got to think he's like the greatest receiver ever. Had he just been in this era, he would probably be making like 5 times more. It's like I had Randy Cross on the show. We were talking about it. How Randy was like, dude, a bunch of shitty offensive linemen get paid good money in college football. He's like, you don't have to be good and you're making more money than I made in the NFL. Right. So my point is like, how bad of it is it timing wise? How bad is it timing wise for all these these greats that played in the SWAC historically, whether it's Walter Payton or Jackie Slater or John Stallworth or Jerry Rice? You know, those guys, if they made the money that they made today, they would probably be giving back to their institutions, and it would set them up so nice moving forward. It's a bummer. It's a bummer when you really think about it, because Mississippi Valley State's fucking horrible right now. I don't know if it's all because of the trickle down effect from Jerry Rice, but I'm just saying. Jackson State, Texas Southern. Chris Dishman couldn't get it done. Jackson State 43, Texas Southern 14. Nice ass whooping there. TC Taylor, relax. Good win there for State. Prairie View Grambling. This game. This game. Did anyone in the chat watch this game? This was this game was hilarious. This was the state fair game or whatever, the classic, whatever. I forget what the classics. It's a rivalry game that's played at the Cotton Bowl. This game was bananas. One of the best games this entire weekend. If you miss this thing, Grambling got up to a big lead. Prairie View came all the way back. Then a amazing catch by Grambling on a 4th and 9, if memory serves me correct. An amazing catch. First off, Grambling throws a touchdown, which would tie it up to send it to overtime, but there's a holding penalty. So now they're really behind the 8 ball. And they get it to a 4th and 9 after a dump off, and the quarterback throws like a ball that you're just like, oh my God, it's going to get picked. No, the receiver catches it, falling out of bounds. Well, unbelievable catch that gives them a first down. They score a play or two later, push it to overtime, and then it goes to 5 overtimes where Prairie View converts. And I still hate that new overtime. We overreact too much. Just because that LSU Texas A&M game with Orgeron and Jimbo, it ruined it, because like, remember when they changed the rules to do this 2-point conversion after like a two scores. I hate it. I wish it was still the 25-yard line. Like how many? Because the odds are it wouldn't have gone to a 5th overtime. We overreact. One game was fucking insane and went to 7 overtimes. I understand. All right. That sucks. But guess what? Shit happens. All right. To redirect the whole sport to this 2-point conversion, like, penalty kick shit. I don't like it. But Prairie View and Bubba McDowell prevailed 36-34 in 5 overtimes. This game was insane. It delivered better than I even thought. I was excited to watch the game, but I didn't. Super excited after seeing that. Yeah, big time win there for Prairie View. Montana Eastern Washington was a heck of a game, man. I mean, I worry. I'll say this, Bobby Hawk. I worry a little bit about the defense because E-Dub was throwing the ball down the field. Now Montana was kind of in a good spot. I feel like they were kind of up like 10-14. I think good amount of the time, but E-Dub still moving that ball, and E-Dub covered. Got that one right. Way too many points. They just got a big donation too for their football department. So shout out to E-Dub. This was my lock. One of my favorite plays, McNeese money line, and it hit. This game was pretty insane too. Clifton McDowell, I'm gonna need you to hold on to the ball. If you're gonna run that many times, can you hold on to the ball? McNeese though, Lake Charles, has got to be loving it as they go to Weber and get it done. They're 28-26. Weaver missed the 2-point conversion. It's a very good game. These games were great this weekend. And then Abilene Christian did blow out Utah Tech. I would have got this wrong had I bet this. They won by 25, 55-30. And then maybe the game of the week, Idaho, UC Davis, as far as a ranking standpoint. Idaho finally, I mean, look, I guess this is their second loss because of the Oregon game, but I consider the Oregon game like a win for them. Jack Wagner, I think this is the first game where the Jack Lane effect took its toll. Not that Wagner played bad. I just think Lan Larison is such a fucking beast. If you haven't watched this kid for UC Davis, he's such a fucking beast. He's basically Christian McCaffrey. He really is. Dan Hawkins was on this summer on the show, and he was talking about that. He's a very fun watch. He's one of the more exciting players in all of the FCS. If you get a chance, check him out. But this game was pretty fascinating because, and by the way, Larison, only rushed for 46 yards and a touchdown, but he had 54 receiving. Their team's leading receiver and another touchdown there, including one on the wheel route that was a big touchdown in the game. Huge win for Davis. This is a huge win for Tim Plow and UC Davis. And I know he had tweeted out, their athletic director had tweeted out a subtle message, I think, by putting the stadium. They have a rather new stadium. It's a great stadium in Davis, California, but that they can it's expandable. Basically saying, hey, Mountain West, give us a call. But what a win for Davis and Tim Plow and this program. Idaho, look, even with Idaho losing, doesn't change my opinion that I don't think they're a top 5 to 10 team. I still think they should be in that mix. They've played an incredibly hard schedule to start the season. Shout out to Jason Eck and the Vandals. Despite the loss, they lost by 2, 28-26. Game ball, though, certainly to UC Davis. And I'll go out on that. Let's go game balls. I'm going to give you 5 teams that deserve a game ball. And I think it starts right there with UC Davis. And then, so that's 1. I gave a game ball to, honestly, I feel like it should be one of those. Frostburg State is getting a game ball. Frostburg State, second game ball. The third game ball, I think you really got to go look at Northern Arizona, third game ball. Big time win. Upstate Sac State at home there. Very impressive stuff. That would be the third game ball. Fourth game ball, East Tennessee State. I know, look, the Citadel's decent this year. Jonathan Bennett, they're decent. But what you had to go through to get there to get the game ball. And the fifth and final game ball. I'm gonna go off the beaten path here. Because I know we could say South Dakota, that was a great win. But I think you're looking for, who doesn't normally win that like great win? In my head, I would say the one that jumps out to me right now is probably, and I forgot to mention UT Martin beat Kennesaw State, another FCS beating an FBS with Kennesaw looking horrible. They should have never got rid of the flex bone. And I also forgot to mention Hampton and William and Mary. William and Mary won 49-7. Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, give me. I think the play for me is going to be. I'm going to go McNeese State, going up to Weber, getting that win. All right, 4-2 now. Watch out, McNeese and Clifton McDowell. They got the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick. I almost gave it to Lindenwood. I'm going to wait one more week for that, though. Folks, we are the FCS College Football Experience. This is our reaction show. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Let me know if you like it. We're just throwing this out there. And Brown, the Brown Bears deserve it. That's the fifth one too. Sixth. I'll give a 6-game ball to the Brown Bears with that magical game. Appreciate everybody tuning in the chat. I would ask you, go out and try to watch some FCS football, especially if you can go to a live game. What are you doing? What are you doing? Support football or high school. Went to a high school game on Friday. It was great with the Bet Detective CJ Sullivan. It's not just, shouldn't always be like, hey, go to the NFL game, go to the Pac-12 or SEC or whatever. Like, appreciate the whole fucking. There's many layers to this onion. You know what I mean? FCS is the heartbeat of college football. Check it out. Go out of your way. I challenge you to go out of your way, and whether watch it on a TV at your house or go to a game. All right, do that. All right. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The FCS College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll be back on Thursday or Friday with the pick show. As soon as these lines come out, I can make graphics. We fire these things away. Let's go. Be back tomorrow. Talking. Tomorrow we have our FBS preview and pick show. We go through every game. So me, Patty C, NC Nick, we're gonna go through every single game in the FBS. Followed by was my other schedule here. We got DFS on Thursday. DFS slate for Thursday and Friday and Saturday. Also, we have the bracketology Wednesday night. Myself, Moneyline Mac, talking about the college football 12-team playoff. And then Thursday afternoon, we got the bombs down under. Moneyline dogs available for week 6 college football. Anyone going to be in the Tempe, Arizona area? I will be at the Sun Devil Stadium. Myself, stacking the money green, and Ryan Real Money Kramer this Saturday. Kansas, Arizona State, legendary Sun Devil Stadium. Get yourself out to a game, tailgating. All right, we can huff paint in the parking lot, do a few whippets. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. No, but come honestly, come by and have a beer, get you a shirt, a lighter, something. You know, kick back, throw the pigskin in the parking lot. Half of tailgating for me is throwing the fucking pigskin in the park. I look forward to that. That's what you do in your 40s. You just look forward to, hey, guess what? Get to go tailgate. I can't wait to throw the ball about for about 25 minutes and wake up on Sunday with my arm hurting. Anyway, folks, till next time, this is the College Football Experience, FCS style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.